To your knees, Armageddon and the apocalypse. Now is here.
Now, first of all, thank you very much that you're here. It's very rainy at Stonehenge today, so now let's scream it out maybe for the listeners or readers of Bonavox magazine.
Well, hello, this is Katon from Hirax. Good to be here. Thank you for the support. And yes, we're talking to you from a very rainy Stonehenge festival here in the Netherlands. We actually had a really good set. The show was awesome. Luckily, we got to play before the rain really started coming down. Yeah. So, good to be here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, at the moment, how are you doing? Is of course the first question.
Yeah, good. The touring is always a little tougher because we, not like most bands, we don't take many days off. So we've been doing like 16 shows in 16 days, which is a lot of bands can't do that. But I think with us, we're really one of those bands that's so hungry, and we're still building the fan base, especially back here in Europe. But it's going great. This is our second year of touring here. This year we did more. We did two different tours of Europe. This is the final leg, and everything's been awesome. The shows have been great. More kids are coming out to the shows. It's not just kids though. That we have anybody from, there are people from their 60s to their 16, coming to the shows. So. It's great, and there's a lot of new fans because some people didn't catch us back in the 80s, so I couldn't be happier. Yesterday's show was amazing. We did the Headbangers Open Air Festival. We've done a lot of festivals on this part of the tour because it's summertime. And then this is the last festival, and then we have one more show tomorrow in Belgium. So things are great.
And then you are going to Norway?
Going to Norway for 2 weeks to start writing the new album. And for me, it's more of an inspirational thing because my wife's family's from there, but I'm going to actually go hiking in the hills and just draw inspiration from the hills of Norway. So I think it's a good way to start the record. Then I get back to Los Angeles after that, and we start rehearsals, and we start banging out the music. Our record company came out to see us at the Bang Your Head Festival in Germany. It's like 40,000 people. It was amazing. But they asked, hey, we need a new record, so we're going to give them a new record, give the fans something really good, because we're really fortunate. I mean, there's a lot of bands that have great fans, but we have some really diehard people that follow us. It's kind of crazy. Like, we can't believe, like, even here today, there's people here from France and, just all over, the UK. We did the UK for the first time this year, and it was fucking unbelievable. So, yeah, we have diehard fans, and now it's time to start writing a new album.
And you're busy already with it, or?
Yeah, there's like 4 songs already done. We need more, though, because the label actually wants to do a double vinyl, and that's a lot of music. So we're going to have to go back and write extra songs for it. But I think what we're going to do first is maybe release, like, they want to do something old school, like back in the days in the 80s when, like, you would buy a 12-inch single, Iron Maiden bands, like, they used to do Women in Uniform 12-inch single or something like that. So that's kind of one of the ideas, and then a new video to accompany the song. But we got a lot of work to do, but for us it's more of a challenge because we really want to keep upping the bar. Like, some bands, they kind of come out with records that are so similar, after a while you don't know which record it was, but it's going to definitely be a departure, but at the same time from the last record, but it'll still have same kind of elements. But we want to give people something a little different, because we've got a lot to offer. We have so many different, like, weapons in our arsenal of music that we're going to do some heavy shit, some real fast stuff, some numbers that are more epic, some epic numbers, and deliver something that the fans can be proud of, So that's the goal, just to work really hard, and then we go back out in March and April, we'll do a new tour. So a lot of work ahead, but the new album's coming.
And normally I think live you're also playing with a second guitarist, or not?
Well, we had a second guitarist, we like that format, but the last guy we had, the last couple of guys, they just didn't get the songs down tight enough, and we can't be taking the band on the road like that. Lance and his brother, the Harrison brothers that are in the band, they've been with me for 10 years. So that they know the system that we have. And we just don't want to be delivering half-assed live shows. We want to make sure we keep doing like what we did today, where we come out, deliver the goods, man, bring real metal to the people. Because, I mean, when you play a festival like this where it's raining, the people that are there, you got to give them a good show. I mean, it's just the dedication of the fans. Like, that's what inspires us, really. Like, the new record will probably be based more on the fans that we have, because it's like a family. Like, unbelievable what we have. So, yeah, we're going to just keep working hard. Our new goal is just to make a really incredible record and then follow it up with touring. I mean, that's going to be the schedule for the new year.
Yeah, and it will be still in this SPV Steam Hammer?
Yeah, SPV Steam Hammer. They're really excited because they're ready to work on some more stuff with us. They did a good job with the last record. Immortal Legacy did really well. People are still getting hip to it though, because it's still, even though it's been out for probably half a year at least, but some people are still getting turned on to it. You know, fans, especially with the thrash metal and heavy metal fans, they're still searching around finding bands, and we're one of those bands. It's almost, to them, some people, it's like we're a new band, even though we've been around for over 30 years. But you're always reaching a new fan base. Like today, I bet you probably 80% of those people probably never even saw us before. So that's why the touring's almost the touring's as important as doing a new album.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how happy I am with what we've got going on. So
when are you planning to release the album? This
hopefully,
year?
well, there'll be at least something out in time for the tour in March and April of 2016. I can't say for sure if the album will be completely done, because for one, we don't want to rush it, because that's when you have problems with records. Some of these bands are so worried about just getting out something new, but they don't put the quality in it. We're going to make sure from the artwork to the lyric sheet to the photos that it's quality the whole time, because that's the main important thing. I don't care about fast putting out a record. I more care about people getting the record and going, fuck, this thing's got the layout's amazing, the artwork's amazing, the music's amazing. It's got to all match it, you know. We don't want the record to not be that good of a record and have a great cover. We want everything to be great.
For instance, for the new album, what do you think about Mr. Gordon Shumway, for instance, Bill Matoyer?
Yeah, Matoyer will be back with us again. We work really well with him, and he actually challenges us. It's not like where you go in the recording studio and he just records you and doesn't say anything. He'll actually say, you can do better. You know, the last record, he was on me with the vocals, like, you can do better. And I actually liked it, even though it's tougher work. You spend more hours in there doing a new track, and he'll take like 4 tracks. That's what's great about Bill Matoyer. And he's also worked with so many great bands, from Armored Saint to Slayer to Wasp.
He's already in the days when you started. He is already...
And I worked with him on the first 2 records. So we have a good relationship with each other. And the thing that's great about him, he's not afraid to challenge the band. And that's even better for the fans. Like, if he was just one of those producers who just let us do whatever the hell we wanted.
And cashing and...
he would just be cashing a check. But it's not even about the check for him. It's more about making great records. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, he's already in touch with us. Even while we've been on this tour, he's just checking in with us to see how we're doing. But when we get back to LA, we'll start demoing new songs.
Because he has his own studio, his own thing. Because he was always working for Metal Blade.
Yeah, he has his
But somehow...
Well, what happened is he left Metal Blade when he started working with Wasp, because Wasp needed so much time to record their records, and then he just started doing more outside stuff, and it's worked out good for him. He's just a man of integrity, so he's really the perfect producer for us, because he, like I said, he keeps making us up the bar. He doesn't just let us stay at the same level.
And he's also sometimes going maybe to Europe to look to the bands, or he's...
Well, more, he's so busy with recording, he's in LA most of the time. He goes out to the shows, like we did a show that we played with Armored Saint, and he would come out and check us out and make sure that the songs, were tight and all that. So he's a hands-on producer.
Oh, great. And then what happened with this Black Devil Records?
It's still a part of our whole system, because what it is really me and my wife, when we started Hirax again, we had our own label, because we weren't really thinking we were going to sign with a label. We just figured we'd do everything independent. But what's great about having Black Devil Records, that's our home base, and that does all of the mail order for the fans, and we make sure that the fans get the most amazing packages. When they order stuff, they get patches, they get flyers from concerts that we've done. Like even from this tour, there'll be flyers in those packages. We always make sure it's old school. Like back in the day when you'd order something and you get it, it'd be like Christmas when you opened up that package. So Black Devils Records is always going to be involved. It's basically a company that me and my wife started. And it helps with everything. But we also work with booking agents when we do the tours, and we also work with SPV. But SPV is our label, and they're really amazing because they're into it. It's not like we just signed with a label that puts out the records and they don't check in with us. Like we had like an 8-hour meeting with them at Bang Your Head after we played, and they're really wanting to work on the new record and get that out pretty soon. So it won't be too much longer. The record, it's definitely going to be coming, and Bill Matoya will produce it.
Okay. Oh, I was only guessing or only telling to you maybe this is a good idea for you, and not even didn't know anything about
it works
the Gordon.
Well, the thing is, he also is in LA, and he's not too far from where I'm at. I mean, we could record the record in the UK, we could record the record in, say, Holland, but it's just more travel. When you got to focus on those records, you really got to take your time and make sure that everything's done right. And then once you release it, it's up to the people, it's up to the fans, to say whether they like it or not. But I think they're gonna get a really big surprise with the new record because the band is still like growing, and we're still really interested in writing songs and making sure. I don't want people to think it's going to be wimpy, because writing a song doesn't mean it has to be wimpy. It's just going to be something that's really going to stay in the listener's mind when they listen to the record. We want to give them something to remember.
And the rest of the band members are also living in the surroundings?
Yeah, we all live out near LA. The only guy that lives outside of it really is our bass player. He lives in San Diego. But he's a hard-working machine, and we're going to shock the world with the new record.
We will listen to it.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think about the lyrics? Or is it important for a band like Hirax? Or is it just to make some speed thrashing metal and that's it?
No, it's really important. With us, we're different than most thrash metal bands. Like a lot of bands write about thrashing and slam pits, and we're not against that at all. That's fine. But for us, we travel the world a lot, so it's more about cultures and people and learning about just history and stuff like that. So we'll travel to say, like, we were in Germany and we came across a church that was really old, and just learning the history of the church when it was built and things like that. Or even different cultures, like we just did a show in Switzerland and another show in Austria where we played with these bands from India. So, just even hanging out with them, that influences us. We're really in the cultures. So there'll be more of it's serious on the fact of the lyrics. That's why in every album we've ever done, there's been lyric sheets, because the lyrics really are important to us. So, no, it's not just we don't really care about the lyrics. The lyrics are just as important as the music. But they'll be basically about some of the places we've been to, whether it's Japan or Norway or Sweden. The traveling really does influence us, and meeting people of different cultures is always important to us. Because our band's mixed anyways, so it's not like you have just one nationality in our band. Yeah. I'm African American, but my family came over from Portugal. The guys from the guitar player and the bass player, their moms from families from Denmark. Our drummer's from Mexico, his family's from Mexico. So when you have that much culture, it kind of bleeds into your music, which is a good thing, I think.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. And we try to also bring people together through our music. We don't give a shit where you're from as long as you're a good person. Like I was just talking to a kid at this festival, and he goes, when you were coming up in music, what was it like for you? Because he goes, I've ran into some problems with racism. And I go, well, I probably came up at a time when it was even tougher for him, but I never let racism fuck with my head, because I knew that there would be other good people that were different than me, whether they were white or Mexican or from Spain. And heavy metal is really great like that, because you have a lot of people from around the world that are not even of the same religion or the same, culture, but through the music it brings us together. So I just told the kid, like, listen, just keep listening to the music you love. Don't worry about any of that shit, because when I was growing up, it was even worse. But I never let racism fuck with me, because I knew the music would, overshadow that shit. Racism's just ignorance. It's no big deal. Let if people want to be ignorant, let them be ignorant. Unless they put their hands on you, just ignore them. Once they put their hands on you, it's a whole different story, But yeah, I mean, for us, it's also like a mentoring thing because we meet a lot of kids from different nationalities, whether it's South America or
Japan,
Southeast Asia, you know, which we'll be working on that too. We're going to probably go to India and, well, that's not Southeast Asia, but like say Indonesia, Malaysia, and hopefully India one day. But our thing is people. It's about people, man. Our music's about bringing people together. So if there are racist people, normally they wouldn't be in a Hirax anyways because they know our stance. Our thing's about bringing people together.
But was it not hard back in the day?
It was different, but you know what's funny? Because the way I was raised, my dad was in the Navy, so we lived with all kinds of people, like on naval bases, like Filipino people. We were around so many different nationalities that it really didn't occur to me about all that shit until I got older and I understood that there were some people that were ignorant. But it's never really been that bad. I mean, I've ran into a few things. One time I was in Germany, and a guy was telling me last night, he goes, I go, yeah, I ran into a soccer gang that just came out of a bar, and their team had lost, so they were angry. Right. I don't even think they were angry really at me. They were looking for something to be angry at. And he goes, yeah, but those are just soccer fans, you know. Really? Yeah. But, you know, but at the same time, the same thing that happened to me while that was going on, there was a guy behind me who owned a bar, and he said, come into my bar, and you'll be safe because I saw you last night at a Rose Tattoo show, which I went to see Rose Tattoo back in 2004. Yeah. And he was a biker, but he was open-minded. Oh, and he saved me, basically. He goes, come in my bar, and that's where I hung out. And the football hooligans, as they call them, left me alone because they didn't have the balls to go into this biker bar and try to mess with me. But, you know, it's something.
More on stage.
No, on stage I've never had a problem. I mean, like I said, with me, I think when people see the show, they already realize that really they should probably leave if they're that way because our shows are always mixed with all kinds of different people. You see people with skinheads, you see people with long hair, you see people of different color. So I think if there was somebody racist that came to our show, they knew better than to do anything because they're kind of outnumbered, you know. And for me, I would handle it good anyways just because I've been educated. My father was a serviceman for 30 years. He's been around the world. So he didn't teach us to hate. He taught us to love, you know. It's just where we come from.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was great. But I also think that there is not so much, let's say, black people from Africa in the metal.
Not
or is
many.
it?
No, there's not many.
Maybe the culture? Or
I think it's more peer pressure than culture. You know, a lot of people of color, when they come from a certain nationality, there's cultural music. Like there's African music or there's soul music, folk or whatever. So in each culture, but at the same time, you should always remember that because it's a part of you. Yes, so I would say whatever country you're from, man, like when you're growing up, your parents play their traditional music, still love that because that's a part of you and it's also loving your parents. But at the same time, you have your life now and if you love heavy metal, that should be a part of you show your children that later. Because like now, we have a lot of young kids coming to the shows and their parents got them in a Hirax. So it's a beautiful thing, but I still listen to music that when I was growing up, my parents used to play around me because it reminds me of my father, it reminds me of my mother. And I think you should always, family to me is the law. Like, fuck all the other bullshit, but when it comes to your blood, your family, that should be always respected, you know? So that's how I feel, and that's how I live my life. Like, even I'm going to Norway to work on the new record, but also my wife's family's from there. So I'll be hanging out with a bunch of Vikings, drinking and eating food together and learning more about their culture because I've never been to this part of Norway. I've been to Norway, I've been to Oslo, but I've never been to Bergen. Bergen's like an island. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, for us, we're all about people. We don't care where you're from. I mean, we played Slovakia, and there were dudes that were giant Vikings headbanging in the front row to a guy who's from, you know, California. So that really is amazing about music, that it can bring such different people together. It's beautiful. That's why I like music so much. For me, music's my religion, even though we all have backgrounds from growing up. You went to certain churches or synagogues, whatever. But for me, heavy metal's my religion.
Already so long.
Yeah, for over 30 years. Yeah.
And how you're still getting the power from and the strength to do the whole time now you're going into the studio.
It's all about
people can also say, "Ach man,
no, it's about the fans. We meet the fans and they're so amazing. It just makes you want to do a better record. You know, we've had fans come to our shows, like we were in Spain and a guy showed up and said, my brother died 3 years ago leaving one of your shows. He was driving home, fell asleep at the wheel and died. But he came to the show wearing his brother's vest. Like, in place of his brother, he came to stand for his brother and enjoy the show. And he told us the story after the show, and we hugged him and said, dude, thanks for telling us the story. We don't know, because sometimes when you play shows, you don't know what happens to your fans on the way home. No. So our thing is we're more of a family, really. Like, even today, there were guys here from France.
I heard from Glasgow.
Yeah, Glasgow, from Wales. Last night, we had fans there from Wales, from Guatemala, Chile, from all over the world. So where we're really fortunate is that we have diehard dedicated fans. And that's what motivates me, even at age 52. I'll be 52 in September. It's really about the fans. It always has been. I don't hide backstage after we play. I go out into the crowd because I think that I should be able to go out in the crowd and have a beer with somebody, because why not? I know that certain levels you get real big, it's kind of hard to go out there, but I'm at a level right now where I can still go out in the crowd and enjoy myself and meet people and take pictures and say hello. So while I can do it, I'm going to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
It's good stuff.
Do you still have dreams or something special you would like to happen or do with Hirax? Maybe?
Just go to more countries. Go to Thailand. Go to Russia. We haven't done those countries yet. Oh. Go to Southeast Asia. If we can do as many countries there, I'd like to do. Even some places that just never have had this kind of music. It's like, to me, it's like freedom. You go to these countries, you hear about countries where some of the music's banned. It's outlawed. But you go there, and if you can free people just through the music, it's great. And a lot of people would love it. Some countries, they can't even get heavy metal records. So for me, it's about breaking down barriers, going to different countries, keep writing new albums, because for me, that's also a process of, creating something, and then kids learn the songs. Even on these tours, I can't believe that kids don't know the songs, word for word. So it's just, keep going, and the fans, they're like our power. They power us. And we get such beautiful letters from people all over the world. We're really fortunate. Even the guys in my band, they know how lucky they are because we're traveling the world. What could be better than that? Even today, my brother-in-law flew in from Los Angeles here to Holland just to see the show.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's powerful what the music does. It's a beautiful life.
Yeah. That's also the reason you restart Hirax?
Yeah, my wife, she didn't even know I was in a band when I met her, which was great. I thought it was great to meet a woman who didn't give a shit, that I was a rock dude or a metal dude, and that I was pretty known, actually. But she goes, "You're getting mail. What's all this mail from?" I go, "I was in a band called Hirax back in the 80s. She goes, "Why don't you play again?" I go, "I don't know. It's such a hard business, but we've gotten really good at it since then." But she actually burned, she handmade 5,000 CDs, which I thought she was insane for doing, and she sold all of them. And I was like, wow. People really care? She goes, yeah. And then she burned another 10,000 and sold all of those. I said, well, maybe we should just get them pressed, officially. I met a guy last night who said, I have one of those original burned handmade copies that my wife made. I'm like, wow. So we started playing, and there was more response, and then we started. 2003, we got an invite to come to Bang Your Head Festival in Germany, and we went and did that, and ever since then, it's just been touring, and now we're doing more touring than we've ever done. So it's just, my wife talked me into it, and she was actually right. It's amazing how women are so damn smart, But I'm glad I'm doing it because, for one, I get to travel and see things I would have never have seen. Some of the promoters, we'll go to countries, they'll show us stuff. They want to give us a piece of their culture, so they'll show us things that represent, the legacy of that country, and we're like, wow. France, we go there, it's unbelievable. We have such a great fan base in France. Even as you saw today, this kid who bought me this T-shirt from Russia.
Yeah.
Fuck. I got kids flying in from Russia to see me in Holland. That's amazing. But I think a lot of musicians don't realize how lucky they are. I actually do. I know I'm lucky. And till the day I die, I'm going to be grateful. So, yeah, we got great fans, man. It's unbelievable. That's our power. That's our fuel, But to have them coming in from so many different countries is unbelievable. What else could I ask for?
Yeah. And this is somehow, let's say, now you're full-time?
Yeah, I do Hirax 24/7. I don't sleep that much. the reason I'm not bothered by that because I can sleep when I'm dead anyways. So let's get some work done while we're on this fucking planet because one day we're all going to be gone. But I sleep maybe 4 hours a night. Most of the time I'm either on the internet answering questions from fans. I do the mail order when I'm at home. A lot of mail order. And I'm usually either writing music. I try to stay in shape. I'm not the most disciplined person, so I eat pizza and spaghetti and meatballs I love, and I like Japanese food and Chinese food too as well. Mexican food's another one, but I think you also should have a little bit of decadence with health. So I try to stay in shape. I run on the beach because we live by the beach, but I also still eat crazy ass food because you never know when you're going to die anyway. So why don't you at least enjoy some things, but also try to take care of yourself, get some health, go for walks, you know. And but the music I think is what really keeps me young. But yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate enough to be able to do this, so I try to take decent care of myself. Because over the years, I've lost friends from other bands like Exodus. Paul Bailoff was a good friend. He died. And when you start having people die that you started out with back in the 80s, it makes you realize you should take a little bit better care of yourself. Because once you get older, you actually appreciate living. When you're young, you don't even know how lucky you are. So as you get older and you lose a few friends, you start realizing it's amazing that I'm still alive. Because I partied with all those guys back when we were really wild. So it's not surprising to me that some of them have died. Even myself, it's amazing I'm still alive. But I'm very grateful.
Wow. But you were talking a little bit about your wife. She likes also this music because this big tongue card thing on the back. Yeah, she loves it. We have a lot in common, but we also don't have a lot in common. That's what's good about our marriage because she's different in a lot of ways and I'm different in a lot of ways. We actually balance each other out. But she's really the main driving force besides me of Hirax because she does all the business, all the booking, all the airplane flights. She books all that stuff. Like even this tour, we went from Los Angeles to Moscow, Russia, and then from Moscow, Russia, we flew into Czech Republic, Prague actually. So she handles all that. That's a lot of logistical shit, man. It's really not that easy. I think woman is good in this kind of...
Yeah, amazing. I don't even know if I could do it. She's a great manager, but at the same time, she's real strong with the band, and everybody in the band knows their job, So, yeah, she's very involved, and I'll wake up in the morning, and she'll be playing fucking, like, Judas Priest or Black Sabbath while making coffee.
Wow.
So, yeah, but I work on the band 24/7. My wife is the manager, but she also works with children. She's a teacher.
Oh.
So that's probably why she can deal with me, because she works with children. She can handle me as well. But, yeah, it's a family affair. Even my father-in-law, he's helped with some of the staging props and, the banner and stuff that goes up behind us. So, yeah, we're kind of a family business. But really, I think we're run by the fans. If the fans weren't buying the records, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, but it's also somewhere written that it's good when you're old to be like a child.
Yeah, and it's also, that's a great way to say it, because also there's an old saying where we come from in America, don't stop kicking the can. Little kids, if they see a can in the street, they'll kick it. Kicking the can keeps you young. So the moment you stop kicking that can, you die. And I feel that way with the music. The moment I stop creating music or I stop doing music while I can is the moment I die. So right now there's a lot of life to live. We just played also Germany yesterday, and we saw people that have been coming to our shows for like anywhere from decades. 20 to 30 years. Yeah, decades. So it's motivating, and then even we go out into the crowd and we meet people and they tell us the most beautiful stories. 1 second.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, no problem.
He really wanted your autograph.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
My pleasure. Yeah, not a problem at all. That's
just
great. Okay, guys?
You guys
Yes,
have a good
because
time.
That's the reason I'm here.
But we are the same as you.
Cool.
We are not here, I don't know what. We are small, peaceful.
Thank you. Very much.
I think the same.
Okay.
And I was also thinking about when we were also in the metal already from the 80s.
Yes.
In the 80s, we in Holland thought metal is, of course, Europe, Japan, USA. But now you're talking about India, China.
Which is awesome. Yeah.
So I think metal is growing into countries where you never expect that it would.
I'll go on record saying this. I think that because of the climate of the world, heavy metal is more important than it's ever been. because there's no politics, there's no political agenda. It's about having a good time. It's about music taking you away from your problems. Some of these people need it so bad they live in war-torn countries where even the music's banned, but they will put their life on having a cassette tape of like Hirax or even somebody like Judas Priest or Black Sabbath, because it takes them away from the pain of living in a shitty country that has war going on, or they're crucifying their own people. You know, so I feel really good doing what I do, because I know there are kids that forget about somebody bombing their neighborhood by listening to the music that we do. It gets more serious for us because when we started out, we didn't realize there'd be all this heavy stuff involved with the music. We didn't know that kids would be, you know, smuggling our music into Malaysia or smuggling it into India or Indonesia, where some of it's, like I said before, banned. Like, you could die for having the music in your house. You know, but they love the music so much, they're willing to put their lives on it. That's fucking unbelievable, you know, but we're going to keep doing it for the fans and also for ourselves. Like, I'm not going to say we don't do it for ourselves, as we do, but at the same time, we always have the fans in our mind, you know.
It's a win-win.
Like the guy who just came here from Russia.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and I love these people because they make me realize that we have done something important for them, you know. It's amazing.
Oh, great. Now, what about new album? You told already a little bit about it.
Yeah, we're working on that. That's going to be real good, and we're going to produce it like with Matoyer, like I said. The artwork will be really important because, you know, like some bands, you'll keep seeing their record covers and they don't really change. It's almost the same. So this will be a departure at that same time, because we want to do, like, have a record when you look through our record collection, you go, holy shit, this one is totally different, but still an amazing album cover. It's a higher stakes record for us. Also, because we're like in the middle, we're in between not just the underground, we're really popular in the underground, but now we're starting to get bigger success, even though we will never commercial out, because that's just not what we do. Like, as you can tell today when we play, it's balls to the wall metal. But there will be where we're in the middle of between this going to the next level with bigger bands, but we're never going to forget about the underground, because if it wasn't for the underground, we would have never gotten known. You know, there are kids that still are, we have fans that are so diehard, they're telling people about Hirax right now as we're doing this interview. So there's going to be a lot more to come from the band. People are going to get a really good album, and then another tour coming up next year that's going to be better than this one. We only had 3 rehearsals for this tour because we were so busy. If people knew that, you know, we can't cry about it, go, oh, we only had 3 rehearsals, wish we would have been better. We come out every time and give 100%. But the next tour, there'll be more preparation, you know, a lot more practicing. We just were so busy with just even organizing this tour, because we had done a tour before. We've been to Europe twice this year. A lot of bands don't do tours like that. We did 2 halves. We did a first half, which was 23 shows in 24 days, which is insane. Oh, and then we did this half, which was 17 shows in like 18 days. So it's taxing on the body. I mean, basically, this is our home that we're sitting in right now until the next tour when we go back to a bus. The bus will be for a bigger tour. Yeah.
So the next tour also, you're going to Europe? Or?
Yeah, we're going to first start out in Europe. We'll come back in March, April. And then after that, we'll probably go back to South America and then probably do a North American tour of the U.S.
Any dates confirmed right now? Or?
Well, just March, April. I don't know the dates just yet because it's also with another band. That's pretty big. I can't really say it because we got to wait for it to get confirmed. But definitely keep an eye out for the tour that we're doing in March, April. It's going to be a good one.
Wow.
Nice.
There'll be at least a new single. I don't know if the whole album will be done yet, but there'll be a new single, and it's going to be fucking really good. Because this tour, even the one we're completing tomorrow will be the final date, just the people that have come up to us, it's like, you know, they're flying in from Scotland, Ireland, you know, South America, Japan, Australia. You know, we just did a show the other night with a band from Bangalore, India.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, the band is so international now that we have to do more touring. But it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. You know. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know what else to say. It's crazy.
And any last word to our readers, let's say, or to the people?
Yeah, I mean that's why we're still doing the music. So the interviews and stuff that we do, it's really just speaking to the fans, and we want to thank them for the support and telling people about us. Like, we're still one of those bands that's kind of a word-of-mouth band where people go, they're at concerts and they go, have you ever heard of a band called Hirax? There's nothing better than that kind of people communicating and telling people about our music, or turning them on to by sending them a song like an MP3. We're not even against that stuff. Some bands complain about downloads. It's a part of the business that you can't even stop, so why complain about it? What you should do is just work harder so the records sell better. Yeah, and but maybe do some special editions where they get... Like, we do vinyl. We're one of the only bands that's done vinyl the whole time. We never stop. We've been releasing vinyl since 1985, 30-plus years now. The new record will be on 12-inch vinyl, as well as there'll be like a digipack. There'll be, obviously, where you can go to iTunes and download it, but we still like giving people the packaging where you can open up the record and really sit down and listen to it and like read the liner notes, read who produced it. You know, so for us, the fans are the most important. We're going to give them a hell of a record. I want to thank each and every fan, no matter where they live, no matter what part of the world they're in, for the support. And we feel it. You know, we get all the letters. We still check all of our internet pages. Like, we read our mail. We're not one of those bands that doesn't. So the letters are always appreciated. Even like this guy that just came in here from Russia and just saying, hey, I love the band and can I get an autograph? We never forget any of it. So thank you to all the Hirax fans worldwide. We're going to see you next year, 2016, on a big worldwide tour. And just stay metal, live metal, and let metal take you away.
Hail, yon rising, bow to your knees. Armageddon and the apocalypse now is here.